Why you should be more careful in old age, and what that really means. There's a quiet wisdom that comes with age, one that whispers where youth used to shout. But with that wisdom comes a reality most don't talk about enough. The need for caution, not just in movement, but in how we spend our time, whom we trust, how we care for our body, and how we protect our peace. Being more careful in old age isn't about fear, it's about valuing what's left. You see, in our younger years, mistakes feel reversible. You fall, you get up, you lose time, you find more. But after 60, after 70, after 80, the cost of carelessness gets heavier. And that's not just physical, it's emotional, spiritual, and deeply personal. This stage of life isn't about slowing down, it's about becoming deliberate. Let's explore what being more careful really looks like in this chapter of life, and why it could be the most powerful thing you do for yourself. Let's start with the body. The part of aging we're often most aware of. You don't bounce back the same way you used to. A simple fall can become a life-altering injury. A forgotten meal or a skipped doctor's appointment can set off a chain of health issues. So yes, being physically careful is a must. But it's not just about walking slower or holding the handrail. It's about respecting the body that's carried you through decades. It's not weak, it's wise. It's telling you when to rest, when to stretch, when to hydrate, when to stop pushing through the pain. Being careful with your body is not giving in to age. It's cooperating with it. It's knowing that your strength now lies in awareness, not adrenaline. You don't have to prove your toughness anymore. You have to preserve your energy for what matters. But let's go deeper. Because physical caution is just the beginning. In old age, you need to be careful with your time. Time becomes sacred. Every hour feels a little more golden. And here's the thing, other people might not treat your time with the same value. They might waste it with drama, empty conversation, shallow requests. You must protect your time like the treasure it is. Say no more often. Leave the party early. Choose who you let into your life with discernment. You've earned the right to be selective. Not everyone deserves your energy. Not every invitation deserves a yes. Being careful with your time means asking yourself, is this how I want to spend what's left of my days? And if the answer is no, walk away without guilt. You don't owe anyone your presence. You owe yourself your peace. Then there's your emotional world. Your heart, your trust, your peace of mind. In old age, the wounds of the past echo louder. The betrayals, the regrets, the missed chances, they visit more often. And yet, you are also in the perfect position to heal, to forgive, and to protect yourself from new harm. Be careful who you trust now. Not everyone who smiles is safe. People still lie. People still take advantage. And your emotional resilience isn't what it used to be. It's deeper, but also more sensitive. Don't let loneliness make you careless. Don't let the ache for companionship lead you into unworthy arms. You don't have to entertain anyone who disrespects your boundaries. You've spent too many years learning what love isn't. Now love yourself enough to choose peace over people-pleasing. Be careful with your heart. It still beats strong, but it deserves soft places to land, not rough edges and empty promises. Another dimension of being careful is financial. By the time you reach your older years, your relationship with money has changed. It's no longer about chasing wealth. It's about sustaining comfort and dignity. But that doesn't mean others won't try to exploit you. Scammers, fake charities, manipulative family members, they prey on older adults with guilt, pressure, and urgency. You have to be more cautious than ever. Read the fine print. Say no to anything that feels rushed. Keep your financial information guarded. And remember, generosity doesn't mean self-sacrifice. You can be kind without being a target. You can help others without putting yourself at risk. Be wise with your wallet. Every dollar now represents not just money, but time, energy, safety, and freedom. And perhaps the most underrated form of being careful in old age is guarding your inner peace. In your earlier years, you were likely surrounded by chaos, work demands, relationship conflicts, family drama, expectations. You were taught to endure, to hustle, to stay polite even when your soul screamed. But now is the time to be selfish with your serenity. Be careful about what you watch, what you listen to, what you let into your thoughts. That angry news cycle? Turn it off. That toxic relative? Distance yourself. That regret playing on repeat? Pause it. Your mental clarity is a garden now. Don't let weeds grow in it. Meditation, music, slow walks, nature, journaling, these aren't luxuries anymore. They're necessities. Be careful about overstimulation. Your nervous system deserves rest, not reactivity. This is your time to enjoy stillness, not constantly respond to the noise of the world. Let's also not forget relationships. In old age, every connection matters more, and yet you must choose even more carefully. Not every old friend deserves a permanent seat in your life. Some friendships have expired. Some family members only bring pain. Be careful about who you reconnect with and who you hold on to. Rebuilding your circle can be a beautiful act, but do it with discernment. Choose people who nourish your soul, not drain it. Choose people who see the depth in you, not just the wrinkles. Choose people who laugh with you, not at you. This stage of life is too sacred to spend in performance. You shouldn't have to pretend anymore. Be around those who let you be fully yourself, unfiltered, unhurried, unafraid. Now let's talk about spirituality. As we age, the questions become louder. What was it all for? What happens next? Who am I beyond this body? This is the time to be careful with your beliefs, not in a fearful way, but in a meaningful way. Ask yourself what really brings you peace, not what tradition says, not what others expect. You get to define your spiritual path now. You get to ask big questions without shame. You get to change your mind. Be careful of dogma. Be careful of guilt dressed as holiness. Find what soothes your soul and lean into it. Whether it's prayer, nature, meditation, or music, this is the time to connect with something bigger than your worries. Being spiritually careful is about staying close to truth and far from fear. And finally, be careful with how you speak to yourself. In old age, it's easy to fall into self-criticism. I should have done more. I wasted time. I failed in love. I'm not useful anymore. These thoughts are common, but they're cruel. You must be more gentle with yourself now than ever before. You've survived so much. You've made it through decades of storms. You are not behind. You're exactly where life has brought you, and that's enough. Speak to yourself with reverence. Honor your story. Forgive your past. Encourage your present. Be careful not to become your own enemy. Because in old age, the relationship you have with yourself is the most intimate one you have left. Make it a kind one. Being careful in old age is not about living in fear. It's about living in truth. It's about knowing that your time, energy, heart, body, and peace are precious, and treating them that way. It's about slowing down, not to stop, but to savor, to notice, to choose more wisely. You don't need to keep proving yourself to the world. You've earned the right to protect yourself, fiercely and unapologetically. Be careful not because you're weak, but because you're finally wise enough to know what matters most. And in that care, there is strength. In that caution, there is clarity. In that awareness, there is freedom.